Now to school safety tonight, and the new bills just filed this week at the Texas Capitol with the goal here of keeping students and teachers safe.
We've got our guy, political reporter Jack Fink, showing us what school districts would be required to do.
I do think that school safety is a top priority.
TJ Calloway is a parent who's also a PTA board member in the Richardson ISD. Like so many others, he's waited to see how state lawmakers would respond to last year's tragedy in Uvalde, where a gunman killed 19 students and 2 teachers at Robb Elementary School. Now 3 bills filed at the Texas Capitol are considered priority legislation by Speaker Dade Phelan and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. One measure would require an armed security guard on each campus. It would also ensure that there's a phone or some kind of electronic device in each classroom, so a teacher or a substitute teacher can immediately reach district personnel or first responders if there's an emergency. And there would be training required for teachers and others who interact with students regularly to identify those who are having mental health troubles. Legislation would also provide $15,000 for each school campus to use for installing physical barriers and security cameras or other equipment. There would also be an active shooter preparedness plan that would require prior coordination with law enforcement and a grant program to help schools funding larger infrastructure needs.
We definitely need to make sure we have sturdy locks on all classroom doors. We need to make sure that there's an emergency preparedness plan.
But he says he believes lawmakers need to address the root problem, gun safety, and place more restrictions on gun sales.
The problem we keep having with gun safety in this country and in the state is the guns. It's not the school building, it's not the teachers or anything like that.
Some Democratic lawmakers have proposed gun safety legislation, but those bills don't have the support of the Republican majorities in the House and Senate. But there is bipartisan support for the school safety bills just filed, and they will likely be approved. We reached out to lawmakers who wrote the new bills, but they were unavailable today.
I think, Jack, a big question a lot of us have is, we did an in-depth special on Uvalde and everything that happened last summer. We covered all aspects and angles of this. Safety requirements for schools previously on the table here didn't have a lot of traction. Will we see any of that change with what we're seeing now?
Yes, Nicole, the bills that are filed do require school districts to conduct various safety audits on their campuses, and the legislation specifically says the Texas Education Agency may review school district records as necessary to ensure compliance. There was some uncertainty about this after Uvalde. Now, Governor Abbott ordered safety audits last year, and these bills are now meant to make them into state law officially. There will be public hearings held on these bills coming up in the next few weeks, and there will be a lot of educators, parents, and others who will voice their input on all this.
We're going to hear input again. People want answers.
They want answers and a way to actually enforce the requirements that are on the table.
Yes, and these bills address that.
All right, Jack Fink, thank you, sir.
You bet.